Want to live full-time in your RV without draining your savings? Whether you're chasing sunsets or just trying to stretch your budget, I'll show you how to save on camping and fuel costs and prepare for the hidden expenses that catch most RVers off guard. We're going to break down what full-time RV living really costs and share how we've learned to save thousands without giving up the lifestyle we love. I'll share our actual lodging and fuel costs for 2025, as well as what to budget for things like insurance, laundry, etc. So let us know in the comments if you have any additional tips for staying within budget while full-timing. Campground costs will probably be your biggest budget item. And if you only stay at premium resorts, those nightly rates can add up fast. But if you're flexible, there are huge savings waiting. Choose your priorities. Do you want a resort with all the bells and whistles like full hookups, pools, pickleball courts, and on-site restaurants? Or can you do without some of those things for a better price? For instance, in the Gulf Shores, Alabama region, prices range from $31 to $118 a night, or $450 to $2,800 a month. That's a pretty big range. Weekly and monthly savings. Most campgrounds offer steep discounts for longer stays, and we've even seen savings of up to 45% off the daily rate for monthly stays. On top of that, many areas around the country offer even larger discounts if you stay for a minimum of 90 days or book an entire season. For instance, the campground we're in now is $1,400 for a single month, $1,100 per month if you book for 3 months, and only $750 a month if you get an annual site. Discount programs. There are programs like Good Sam, Harvest Host, Thousand Trails, KOA, etc. Depending on your camping style, location, and schedule, they can possibly save you money. But do the math. Not every membership pays off for every travel style. Off-season camping. Many parks drop their rates in their off-seasons, sometimes by up to 50%. Think Massachusetts in May or Arizona in August. The weather might not be perfect, but the price tag sure is. Boondocking. We love boondocking or free or low-cost camping on public lands. This is more common in western states on BLM, DNR, and forestry land. Learning to manage your power, water, and septic is a must, but the scenic settings make it worth it. Solar and a good power setup make it easy to stretch your stays. Overnight stays can also be found at places like Walmart's, Cracker Barrel, Bass Pro Shops, and casinos, but call first as many no longer offer overnight stays. A good resource for finding these is iOverlander. Moochdocking, or staying with family and friends. It's a cheap stay, not a free ride, so don't forget to bring a gift, give them some cash for electricity usage, or pitch in for dinner. Next up, fuel. It's not just about the price per gallon, it's how far and how often you move. In 2025, we traveled a total of 5,529 miles, purchased 877 gallons of diesel, and paid a total of $2,582 for travel day fuel. Apps like Open Roads and Gas Buddy help us to find the best price. We use Open Roads almost exclusively on travel days for easy in, easy out for our size, and average $3.13 a gallon this year. Travel tip: look at your route the day before and plan fuel stops based on the best pricing. Plan your routes to minimize backtracking. Every extra mile adds up. We personally like to travel in a mostly linear route and stay away from zigzagging. Finally, keep your speed at 65 miles an hour or lower. Makes a bigger difference than you think, for both fuel economy and your blood pressure. Now let's talk about the sneaky stuff, the hidden costs that surprise a lot of full-timers. Insurance. Make sure your policy specifically covers full-time use. Yes, it's more expensive, but it's necessary. In addition, ask about the cost of adding roof coverage. We pay about $70 per year for roof coverage, which will save us upwards of about $15,000 if or when we need a full roof replacement. Laundry. Laundromats can add up. The average cost to wash and dry just one load is $5, so budget accordingly. Purchasing your own washer and dryer is a great alternative, but it's a considerable upfront expense. A Splendid combo unit like we have is currently running about $1,400, and a stackable set around $2,200. Internet. Many many campgrounds have Wi-Fi, but it's really only good enough to check your email, if that. If you need a strong signal for work, streaming, or gaming, forget it. T-Mobile and Verizon Home Internet runs about $50 per month, with Starlink at $50 per month for a 50 gig plan or $165 for unlimited. Repairs and maintenance. Trust me, you'll eventually need to fix or replace something. It's not if, it's when. Basically, every time you think, hey, we're finally caught up, your RV says, hold my beer. For instance, repacking wheel bearings, which is recommended every 12 months or 12,000 miles, will run a minimum of $100 if you do it yourself, and $300 plus if you hire a mobile tech. Now keep in mind, repair and maintenance costs can vary a lot from one RVer to the next. It really depends on your rig, how much you travel, how you maintain it, and whether you do the work yourself or hire it out. A big diesel pusher and a lightweight travel trailer are in totally different worlds. For those of you with extended warranties, even if you have a top-of-the-line warranty, most warranties do not cover the service fees or diagnostic time if you need a mobile tech. Now let's talk about some sample budgets and our costs. Costs can be broken down into two categories, fixed and variable. So fixed costs include your RV payment, insurance, phone or internet, and storage, whereas variable costs include things like fuel, campgrounds, groceries, maintenance, repairs, upgrades, laundry, and tolls. Taking the above into consideration, minimalist RVers, or those who plan to do a lot of boondocking, can expect about $1,600 a month, with those wanting higher-end resorts and or planning more frequent travel can expect to spend $4,000 or more per month. So we previously went over our fuel costs for the year, and now we'll take a look at what we spent on camping costs in 2025. We spent 218 nights in private parks, 11 in military fam camps, 43 in state, county, or city parks, 9 with Harvest Hosts or Boondockers Welcome, 50 nights work camping, and 34 nights moochdocking. All in all, our 2025 lodging averaged $29 a night or $879 a month. Could we have spent less? Sure. Could we have spent way more? Absolutely. The key is knowing your travel style and preferences and being intentional about every expense. Now we'll look at additional ways to save money. Look into work camping or camp hosting to trade a few hours of work each week in exchange for a free site. For more information on that, check out our work camping videos below. Cook most meals at home instead of going out, and plan meals around weekly sales. Check out free events or things to see in the area. Resources like Atlas Obscura, TripAdvisor, or just a general search for what to do in fill in the blank. Keep up with routine maintenance. As they say, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Plan your fuel stops in advance to get the best price. And finally, research your domicile options to see what works best for you. It's not only the income tax rates you should be looking at, but the cost of insurance and registration. Insurance costs vary depending on what type and size of rig and tow vehicle or towed vehicle you have, and which state you're registered in. So check out our video below where we compared the cost of insurance and registration in Indiana, Texas, South Dakota, and Florida. We were completely shocked by the differences. Full-time RV life can be affordable if you plan smart and stay flexible. The biggest lesson we've learned, it's not about cutting every cost. It's about spending intentionally so you can keep exploring. If you found this helpful, hit those like and subscribe buttons and drop your best money-saving tips in the comments. We love learning from you guys.
The last week or so has been about a little bit of self-care around here. And today we're tackling another job. I got the rig entirely washed and waxed. We got the roof done as well. And before we go any farther with this, let's take a little break and talk about something that I should have discovered a long time ago, about all of my aerospace wash wax stuff. So let's roll that real quick. I've been using this Aero Cosmetics wash wax for a couple of years now. It's super easy to put on when you buy the big kit with the big long pole and just all the accessories. It's a really easy system to use. But I have been really fighting with some bug guts and so forth that I just couldn't get off of this rig with just either soap and water or the wash Waxall stuff. And I'm so hesitant to use anything stronger than these things because I don't want to scratch the paint job or the clear coat or anything on this rig. Well, it had dawned on me today as I was fighting with some of these bug guts on here and some other stuff too, just like some of that, I forget what they call it, the black streaks that come down the side of your rig. We had some coming down right here on the front, and I just happened to remember that I also got some of this stuff. This is the Aero Cosmetics wash all, not the wash Waxall. So the pink stuff, multi-purpose wash all, and it says spray on, scrub, wipe dry. No big deal. It's as easy to use as the wash Waxall. And so I forgot that I had this stuff. So I figured, well, I'll give it a shot. And this is like freaking magic in a bottle. I didn't have to scrub. All I had to do was just wipe it on, and that was about it. Wipe it on and wipe it off until it was dry, and it was done. So you can see up here, and I think this is actually a good angle because it's got the right light on it. There were just tons of just nasty bug stains up there that I just could not get off, no matter how much I scrubbed with the soap in the water or the wash Waxall. And then right here, let's see if we can get a good angle here. Right here, we had all of those black streaks coming down. They weren't really black, but they were similar to that. But it was, you know, it's just water running down over time, and it's all gone. And this looks, I would say, almost as good as it does when we brought it home, brand new, almost 2 years ago. So anyway, if you are using this wash Waxall stuff, if you haven't used the pink magic in a bottle, I suggest giving it a try. It's super easy to use. Spray it on, wipe it dry, dunsies. Okay, so on to what we're doing today. We're gonna be doing some lap sealant. I don't know how much of I'll get done today. And the big reason for that is because of this mess here. So, as you know, we've got a full body paint job on this rig. And the way that Grand Design does this, I don't know if it's other manufacturers or not, but the way Grand Design does this is really bad. So they build the entire RV. They get everything put together, and then they take it from the factory floor and they take it over to a paint shop. And it's a third-party paint shop. And then basically they paint around everything that's already installed on the RV. So all your slam latches, your door latch, all your windows, everything. Instead of painting everything first and then installing all of those accessories, if you will, you know, the door latches and stuff. Well, they also did the same thing up here on the roof. So at the factory, right, they put down the lap sealant here for the cap. And then when they took it over to the paint shop just proceeded to paint over all of this lap sealant. So now you can see I've got this paint that's cracking on top of this lap sealant, which in itself isn't really hurting anything, except now when I pull all this lap sealant up, I've got all this chipped paint to worry about. And what I don't want to do is I don't want this paint, when I peel up this lap sealant here, I don't want this paint to chip any farther this way up onto the cap. So, I don't know, I had a couple of things I was thinking about. So number one, I was just gonna get a straight edge and just kind of cut a line, you know, the furthest point, say right here, all the way across, just cut a nice straight line across there. And then obviously pull up the old lap sealant, put new stuff down. But I think what I'm gonna do instead, and this may be just me being cheap, but if I just cut a straight line across, I'm gonna have to really use a lot of lap sealant here. So to fill in all of these gaps, I wanna get that paint line covered up. So it's just gonna waste a lot of lap sealant, and I don't really wanna do that. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just actually gonna take a razor blade and cut along the crease here of where that lap sealant meets the paint. And I think that'll be okay. Be able to use a little bit less lap sealant there. And I think that'll work out just fine. So anyway, that's what we're gonna do. And I don't know how long this is gonna take. And you can see here, I've actually got some Eternabond up here. I had to make some emergency repairs it's probably been a couple of months ago now. I had to make some emergency repairs up here. I didn't have what I needed to do and the weather was bad. So anyway, I got some Eternabond down. Not a big deal because it's not actually on the roof. It's just on the lap sealant. So this is what we're gonna do today. And hopefully it's not too terribly difficult. Well, I decided I need my helper up here, and she is filleting. Let's see if we can get a good shot of that in there. She's filleting the part that is on the roof. The sun is helping out a lot. Oh. She's basically just cutting it right off of there. So she's been able to do more in about 10 minutes than I was able to do this morning when that stuff was not baked in the sun already. So
yeah, this is like almost like a putty, I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what it feels like right now. Is kind of like putty. It's kind of coming right up. The only thing is you just got to be careful doing this part because it's, you know, it kind of pulls the roof membrane up too. So we want to make sure that we don't really pull that roof membrane up. But we're coming along here. You can see kind of where we're at. Obviously, I'm going to have a little bit more cleaning up to do. Once we get all the major stuff up here, I'll get my what's that stuff called, rapid remover out, and use it on the parts that don't have the TPO roof membrane on it, and get it cleaned up as good as we can. So it's actually coming along pretty well now. So that certainly wasn't fun, and if I'm being honest, that's the first time I've ever actually pulled up lap seal. Every time I've ever had to do lay some lap seal down, the old stuff was good enough where you could just put a second coat on top of it. So it's all cleaned up now. You can see here, I tell you what, that rapid remover stuff that we use, that residual lap seal that was left on there, man, that stuff it just melts right through it. I don't know what else to say about it. It just kind of melts right through it. So anyway, I've got it cleaned up as good as we're gonna get. And we're gonna start laying some lap seal down. I'm kind of excited about this because I've got my new battery powered caulk gun, and I've got my wide tips that are gonna go on there. So I can lay this lap seal down in nice strips of about, I think they're about 1.5 inches wide. Anyway, I'm gonna take a little bit of a break. I'm gonna go get all my caulk gun set up and everything, and then we'll attack getting the lap sealant put down. Well, that was a little bit longer break than I initially intended to take, but it's actually the next day. I just left that uncovered all night. We were expecting 0% chance of rain, so I wasn't worried about any water getting in there. And like I said earlier, I got my new caulk gun. It's a Craftsman battery powered caulk gun. I know there's a bunch of Craftsman fans out there, but this is gonna be perfect for the lap sealant, where I really do want that sealant to come out a little bit faster to make this job easier. And I've also got these tips that I bought that are gonna go on my lap sealant tube here. So it's just gonna fit, you know, right down in there like that. This is about 1 inch wide, 1.25 inches, something like that. And it gives me a nice wide application area, which again is gonna make this go a lot smoother and a lot faster. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna get everything put together here, and we'll start getting this cap sealed back up. All right, so I forgot to turn the camera back on when I started putting this lap sealant down, but this is pretty cool with that caulk gun and these wide tips. But here's what I've got so far. This was one entire tube, and it went down really nicely. So let's take a look at it. So you can see, like I said, that tip is like 1 inch or 1.25 inches. So one pass, I was able to get all of that. It's still got some ripples in it. You know, part of that's just me being unsteady. But man, that's so much easier than putting down, like, you know, 3 or 4 different rows of a single bead, just using the regular tip on that thing. So let's keep at it. And I think I'm gonna need maybe another tube or two. I only brought 3 tubes of sealant up here with me, but let's get this done. So now I've got almost 2 full runs down over here on this, and it's still coming out great, but I wanted to get some up close footage here. So I got my little camera helper back here, and hopefully she does a better job than I do of getting this. So I've got this thing set on a 2 on the speed, and this is just about right for me right now, especially just trying to get used to this. And I just take it nice and slow, and man, it really puts out a nice wide bead here for this. The key is just to not go too fast so that, you know, you've got a nice thick layer, thick-ish layer in there. All right, so we kind of talked about it off camera, and I originally planned on putting 2 more beads on the outside of what I already laid, full beads across there. I don't think that that's actually necessary. So we do obviously want to cover up the places where the paint came up, but I think we're just going to cover those areas up, and then put another bead down the middle, and I think we'll be okay. And then what I'll do is I'll just increase my inspections up here and make sure that, you know, nothing looks wonky down the road. And if I need to put another bead on the outside of both of those that I already laid in the future, I can certainly do that. So we're gonna put a bead now down the middle, see how that works out. And then we'll cover up those spots on the cap where the paint came up. All right, so that's it, folks. You can see here how much neater that looks. It's not totally neat, and part of that, again, is because of the way that Grand Design did this to begin with. But it looks a heck of a lot better than doing like a bazillion, you know, back and forths or whatever, and trying to just, you know, use that normal tip that's on the lap sealant tube there. So I actually think that looks pretty good. We don't have anything showing that shouldn't be showing. Everything is covered up. Obviously, I've still got to do the edges down here. And I've got to go out today and get some non-sag for that so that, you know, it doesn't sag and fall off, run down the side of the rig. But that's where we're at. This is much better. This has been weighing heavy on both of our minds because, you know, it just looked like garbage before, and we knew that we had some potentially getting some water in there, which we did see. Down underneath some of that lap sealant, you could see the discoloration from where that water was getting in. So I feel much better about this.